All right, so good evening. Okay, so I'm sorry I haven't uploaded a video for a while. It's because I've been busy doing some relief operation um, in the school where I work. Okay, so but I hope everybody's okay. I hope everybody's fine, doing well. I use this setup because it's important for today's topic. I don't know if you are watching these kinds of videos, but today we are just going to talk about techniques, particularly right hand techniques. This hand, the one that you use in strumming, plucking, and etc. So it's important for you to listen for you to listen to the difference. And I plugged the instrument because um, uh, most of the time the those techniques matters, especially if you are going to be amplified. At the same time, it will sound horrible if you are not aware, or you can't distinguish the difference between different techniques. And but before that, the next series of the video tutorial for ukulele fingerstyle will be all original Filipino music. So, yes, I will focus on OPMs for a while, since some of our videos in the past are all foreign songs, and at the same time, I miss speaking in Filipino. So, for our foreign viewers, so I will um, ask for a favor for now. I will be focusing maybe for like 4 to 5 songs, all Filipino music, and then after that I will go back to some foreign ones. Okay, so at the same time I make this sort of guide because this video is a little bit complicated. I don't want to mess up the thoughts at the same time. But at the same time, finding I'm still not comfortable in speaking in English, so it will help me like to structure everything. So thank you. I am so happy for your response. A lot of you are hitting your comments down below, and at the same time, if you want to direct message me, I can answer you right away. You can PM me on my Facebook page. It's Leyrequejo, same of my on my YouTube account, and at the same time my Instagram. And for those of you who was messaging me on Instagram, thank you so much for leaving your comments, your feedback, and etc. I appreciate it. And I'm sorry for some of our viewers. Some of our lessons are quite confusing to them. You're finding it hard to learn, but it's okay. I appreciate it. I will take it as a learning point. Maybe the videos in the future will help you guys. I'm still on the process of like building a good structure for teaching my stuff in the ukulele. So give me some time, and then maybe I can deliver what you need. And but overall, thank you so much. This is like a 3 minutes introduction, but thank you so much. It's necessary because guys, your feedback is very important because you don't want me to doing the same crappy thing. So it makes me, it helps a lot for my development. At the same time, if I can teach much better, you can learn much better. Okay, so just give me some time. Thank you so much. Now, uh, back to our topic. So the importance of developing the right hand technique in playing finger style. So we most of the time we are so preoccupied on how we are going to place our fingers on the left hand, because it's important. It dictates the intonation of the chords and etc. The proper note for that particular sequence for that particular part. Yes, but don't forget that it is also important to pay attention to the technique that your right hand must develop, and it there are tons of varieties of techniques that you can use. Um, uh, Paying attention on the technique on your right hand gives you a wide possibilities on arrangements of the song, the tone, the actual tone of your instrument, your dynamics. I mean the volume, the loudness, the quietness, etc., etc. And the storytelling is important. How you tell the, because it's hard. I mean, if you listen to a song and it's sad, you're going to do it in finger style without the lyrics. It's hard. You need to tell the story at the same time. So, it helps you in your storytelling or your expressing of the song, and maybe to sum it up, the overall musicality of the thing. That's the right hand technique is important. So, let me get straight into it. So, for number one, for example, the strumming. Most of us, when we get that point that we can strum, for example, like this, we tend to forget some things. For me, I am not a learned musician by theory. So all of these techniques and stuff or tips, whatever you may call it, it's based upon my experience and my conversation to other people on how they deal with their playing style. So for example, the simple strumming, the simple up, this one. Okay, so one thing that you need to understand is you must have wrist control. So the movement must be concentrated in your wrist. This one, not this one. Because we tend to strum like this. I see a lot of my students strum like this or this one. The problem with that is you exert a lot of effort and energy in your this what do you call it? The arm, this one. And if you are playing like long sets, it is hard to sustain that kind of action because this definitely your arm will tire. So the bass based on my experience and some advice of my friends, the best way of concentrating your strum is just maintaining a wrist movement. So it's like just twisting like this one. And then if you are a player and you play fast songs like, wait, I'll turn the volume. For example, that kind of particular sound, if you're playing it with like it, you can play the contraction of the muscle here and you will not be able to sustain it. So it's important to know the movement of the wrist if you're going to strum. It's better to consider that. At the same time, the difference of the flesh and the nail whenever you hit the strings, um especially when you are playing amplified. When your nail hits the strings, it sounds like this. Wait, turn it on. And I'll turn the mic a little bit. Sounds like that. But if you hit the strings with your flesh, it sounds like this. So you see the difference. So when you hit it using your nails, there is a much greater volume. But when you use it, when you use your flesh, this one is your flesh. Okay, the fleshy part, nails. You have nails. Okay, so when you use your fingers, your nails, much volume, striking. But when you use your flesh, I'm sorry, much softer. The volume is less. So there are some songs that you can actually incorporate that simple technique, because if you're using your nails all the time, for example, you're playing a synthy or a mellow music, it's supposed to be a soft one, and then you play it like, for example, look at this, compare it to, okay, you see the change of the volume. And going for sentimental or emotional is not just about playing it slow. The tone, the volume is important. So you need to see the difference. Okay. Later I will show you a technique down. Later, with wherein the flesh is very essential. So using the flesh part. So what you will do is just let this part of your hand hit the strings. So it's either your thumb, or when you strum upward, use your flesh and not your finger, or combine it. You can hear basically the difference. And then the fast and the slow. So, I mean, um, there are some players who plays every song fast, and then there are some who plays every song slow, and there are some they don't care if it's fast or slow. It's important. All right, so it's not just about going fast. It's not just about going slow. You just need to pick the right timing for the song, and then incorporate it with your right hand technique. So if you need to go slow, don't be afraid to go slow. If you need to go fast, don't be you need to deliver that. And at the same time, it's important to recognize the timing that suits a particular song. Don't just play and play and play. Sustained and not sustained. What I mean, your right hand, basically most of it dictates the sustainability of a particular note. For example, this one. I mean, you can also mute it using your your left hand. But for example, in this case, so you can kill the note outright. So, um, uh, how can I tell this? So you 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 must identify the importance of when you are going to sustain a particular chord or a particular note, and when do you stop? Okay, so staccato if I'm not mistaken. So, for example, your right hand, you're going to use the palm mute technique. So this one is the sustain. This one is the okay. So you must learn to picture out that. At the same time, this particular technique in strumming, you kill the notes sustained, and if you are going to cut it, that one. So, or if you're going to do a reggae strum, okay. So, you must also take note of that, and at the same time, the loudness and the quietness, if it's the right thing to say. I mean, the difference of the volume is important. Don't just strum with a monotonous volume. For example, you can strum like, or for example, I'm yours, since it's a very popular ukulele song. So now for the whole set of the song, you're playing it like that. You didn't even if you didn't change your strumming pattern by simply changing the volume of it, okay? Changing the volume of it, it will means a lot. For example, you played the intro like, okay, and then when you're about to sing, for example, turn the volume of the strumming much lower than the volume of the vocals. Same principle in the finger style. So, um, if you're strumming too fast, or I mean too loud, you may not be able to highlight the volume it. For example, one of my songs, my arrangement of Hey Barbara by Four of Spades. So as you can see,